queens. Slay like no one's watching. But everybody's watching. Because you're gorgeous.
Haley Freilinger has, what's this?
Hairy nips.
Good Lord.
2024's Mean Girls is a remake of the 2004 film by the same name and follows the same plot of that original film. A girl named Katie Heron starts at a new school and infiltrates a clique named the Plastics with the goal of taking down the queen bee, Regina George. What sets the remake apart from the original, however, is that this one just so happens to be a musical. Getting into the cast, starting with the lead character, Katie Heron, we have Angourie Rice. As the queen bee, Regina George, we have Renee Rapp. As Karen Shetty, we have Avantika. As Gretchen Wieners, we have BB Wood. Then as Janice and Damien, we have Alili Cravalho and Jaquel Spivey. And returning from the original film, we have Tina Fey and Tim Meadows in the roles of Miss Norbury and Mr. Duval. Now to get into my review, I will be structuring it like most of my others, starting with the positives, then the negatives, then I'll end the review with my ranking. So without further ado, let's get into... Now, as far as positives go for 2024's Mean Girls, I have to start with the performances from the cast. Everyone involved in the film did a great job with the roles they were given, but there were definitely some that stood out above the rest. One of them being Renee Rapp as Regina George. I thought she stole all the scenes she was in with both her acting and singing capabilities. Fun fact, she actually played the same character in Mean Girls the Musical on Broadway. Not so fun fact, she did not have the best experience, so it's great to see her return to the character with so much confidence and enthusiasm. But the other two standouts in the film definitely have to be Alili Cravalho and Jaquel Spivey as Janice and Damien. When it comes to these characters, you really can't have one without the other. They are a package deal. And similar to Renee Rapp, if not more so, these two stole every single scene they were in through both their acting and the vocals. And fun fact with these two, Jaquel Spivey is actually a Tony Award winner, and Alili Cravalho is the voice of Moana. So it kind of goes without saying, but yeah, these two can sing and can definitely act, and also made me laugh more than anyone else in the film. But on to the next positive, which is going to be the dance choreography. I was very impressed with both the creativity and coordination when it came to the dancing in this film. Everyone was right on point with every single move, especially in that Halloween party scene. I thought that was very well done. Overall, the choreography legitimately made me feel like I was watching a Broadway musical put to screen. But on to the last positive, which is going to be the writing, specifically when it came to the comedy. Now, Tina Fey wrote the screenplay for this film here, same as she did for the 2004 film, and while I can't say the comedy worked for me quite as well as it did in the original, this one still had me chuckling quite a bit throughout. I thought a majority of the humor landed, and that it was elevated by the delivery from the cast. So overall, the comedy might be toned down compared to the original, but I think there's enough there to keep you entertained, like it did for me. But that's all I have for the positives for 2024's Mean Girls, so let's get into... Now, as far as negatives go, I'd unfortunately like to start with the film's soundtrack. Now, I knew this film was going to be a musical. That didn't come as any surprise to me like it did for some other people out there. I'd also like to add that I actually really like musicals. I'm a big fan of musicals like Mamma Mia, Hamilton, In the Heights, La La Land. So it kills me to say that amongst the 13 tracks in this film, I really only enjoyed one of them. Vocally, I thought everyone did an incredible job, there's no dispute there, but a lot of the music felt a little bit forgettable to me. I'm not sure how much of this music is actually used in the Broadway musical. I know at least one or two of the songs are. And I know a lot of people love that Broadway musical, so if you love these songs, no shade towards you whatsoever. I am honestly not entirely sure what could have been done differently for me to enjoy these songs more. But on to the next negative, which I feel is a mix between the writing and the casting, specifically when it comes to the character Katie Heron. Now, nothing against Angourie Rice whatsoever, but I kind of felt like she was the wrong choice for this character, and also didn't have the best writing to work with. Katie Heron almost didn't even feel like the main character at times, and often got overshadowed by the ensemble of characters. On top of that, I never really bought into her mean girl transition, also didn't feel like she had the best songs to work with either. And that's not to say she had a bad voice by any means, because I don't think she did. But I will say, compared to the Broadway performers, a Tony Award winner, and Moana herself, it's definitely hard to top that level of talent. So while I don't think a different casting choice would have completely fixed the Katie Heron issue in this movie, I do believe it would have helped to cast somebody with a bit more of a musical theater background. But on to the last negative, which is going to be the writing for the story. Now, sure, the story is practically the same one being told in the 2004 film, with some minor tweaks of course, but I felt as though the writing didn't account for the fact that this film is a musical, which caused the story to feel a little rushed and maybe a little disjointed at times. What also could have been a problem is the pacing/runtime. Maybe the film could have benefited from having a closer runtime to the Broadway show, but then again, I don't think this film needed to be anything over 2 hours. But that's all I have for the positives and negatives, so let's go ahead and get into... Now, since this film is currently only available in theaters, I'll be ranking it under my theatrical film ranking system. So as far as my ranking of 2024's Mean Girls goes, I'm going to go ahead and give the film a discounted ticket. I had fun with this musical adaptation of Mean Girls, more fun than I was expecting honestly, but I'd be lying if I said this is a film I'm planning on revisiting. But those are just my thoughts on 2024's Mean Girls, and I'd love to see yours down in the comments below. Have you seen the film? What did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you in the middle? Have you not seen it? Are you planning on watching it in the theater, at home, or not at all? And one final question, if you have seen the film, what was your favorite song? Mine was definitely World Burn by Renee Rapp. But really, any comments you have for me, I would love to hear from you. I respond to as much as I can. But do me a favor and leave a pink thumbs up on this video. Click the subscribe button to read my burn book, and ring the bell to finally make fetch happen.
Why is he so huge and obnoxious?
Oscar nominations.
Okay, hurry up.
3 for Napoleon. 13 for You Oppenheimer. You go Oppie.
And,
Ryan Gosling.
It's Ken.
oh,
Ken.
here you go, one for you.
And none for Greta Gerwig.
Bye.